Chris, do you want to have an opening statement, then take questions? All right.
You guys ready for me?
We're ready when you are. Yeah.
All right. Obviously, that turned into a heck of a ball game. I was really proud of my team. Illinois came out with a lot of energy, like you knew they would. Coming off their last game, we didn't do a very good job defensively in the first half, giving up 44 points, 8 or 9 threes. They were pretty much getting everything they wanted. But I was really proud of my team. That's who we've been. We're a real fighting group. We've been a very competitive group. We've had some success, so our guys believe, that they can be in games like this and have a chance to win. We put a lot of game pressure on them, cutting it to 1. There in the last couple of minutes, give them credit. I thought they made key free throws when they needed it. Kofi had a couple big buckets late, and we just weren't able to kind of get that. We had a couple looks that really would have given us a chance there. Barry had a couple open looks that, he'd been so hot, and Audige had a couple looks, and we just weren't able to kind of get those last couple scores we needed. But, overall, the way we shot it, if you were to say to me, that kind of our three main guys were going to go 4 for 11, 3 for 13, and 4 for 15, and it's a 1-point game under 4 minutes on the road against one of the best teams in the country. There's a lot of positives out of that. So, obviously Illinois is really good, and we got to learn from it and get ready for our next one.
Okay, we have mics on each side. There you go. Jeremy.
Chris, I don't even know how much he's in the scouting report, but RJ Melendez, the freshman, how does he help or impact the game?
Yeah, his energy, I just thought he did a great job. Hit 2 big threes there in the first half from the corner. You've kind of seen on film, kind of from our game, I thought when we played, you guys a couple of weeks ago, I thought he had 6 points, really gave good minutes. You've seen kind of with each game, he's kind of getting more confidence. He's a heck of an athlete. He's on the offensive boards. He's now making threes. I mean, for him to get 14 and 6, in a game like this, I thought he got a big offensive rebound, when we were kind of making it hard for them to score. I think Plummer missed a 3 from the corner, and he came flying in and got fouled and kind of went up and made 2 free throws. So he's got a bright future. He's a really good player for them. And you get guys like that off the bench with their main guys, all of a sudden, they become a very difficult team to beat.
Coach, did you do something differently in the second half defensively? Like you said, they were getting anything they wanted in the first half. Second half shots were a little bit tougher.
I just thought we played a lot harder. We just were a step slow, and part of that is them. Sometimes when it's not going well, you have a tendency to always say it's because of us, and sometimes a lot of it has to do with the other team. They came out with great energy. They were playing with force. They kind of sped the game up a little bit. We were out of sorts. We were late on closeouts, gave Plummer 4 for 5 from 3 there in the first half. And I thought in the second half, we just played a lot harder. We did a better job kind of giving help down on Kofi. We forced some turnovers out of the post, forced 20 turnovers altogether, which helped get us back in the game. But I just thought, we played with more energy, more life. Our kid, one of our freshmen, Casey Simmons, I kind of put him in the game. He hasn't really played the last couple games, but I thought his energy kind of uplifted us. He got 3 baskets there in transition and gave us some life and gave us a chance to put some game pressure on them late.
Here to the right.
Yeah, you guys had a big 13-0 run in the second half. Just what was the reasoning, I guess? What was the spark behind that big run? How big was that?
Yeah, I just thought, we were playing much harder and more aggressive defensively. We started forcing turnovers. We were swarming better with Kofi, whether it was our digs or, at times we had some double teams. I thought we did a good job with that. I thought we put more pressure on their 3-point shooting. They missed a few. If you look at it too, sometimes when you're trying to make a run, I thought DeMonte got some open looks. A couple of those other guys got some open looks that they make, and they missed some of those, which helped us kind of get out. And then we started running. I thought we got out on the open floor, whether it was turnovers or long rebounds, and we were able to attack before their defense got set. If you let their defense get set, they have terrific defenders. Trent is one of the best. DeMonte, obviously Kofi with his size. So I thought we were able to get more in the open floor and get some open shots. Ty Berry got some looks, and next thing you knew, I just thought there became some game pressure. Once you get that to 5, once you kind of cut it to 3, then 1, when you have a big lead like that, obviously the home team is, you put a little bit of game pressure on them. And then to Illinois' credit, they responded and made enough plays to win.
Jim in the way back.
Chris Way in the back. It looked like both sides were a little frustrated by the officiating of Kofi. What's the challenge of guarding him, and the challenge maybe of officiating with him down there?
Yeah, he's a hard guy to officiate. He's kind of a little bit Shaq-like, when you remember Shaq playing back in the NBA. I mean, he's so big, he's so strong. It's hard. It's hard to determine, whether, it's contact, whether it's dislodging, whether it's, he's such a great player. I'm just fighting for my guys out there. Obviously it's at the end of the day, I thought probably some went their way, some went our way, pretty much evened it out. But he just such a tough guy to play against. I mean, there's no one like him in the country, with that force, with that size. He just puts a lot of pressure on you in a lot of ways.
Right here in front, Scott.
Kind of a similar question about Kofi. I mean, he was kind of visibly frustrated some with the double and the triple team. You forced him into 6 turnovers. Then he finishes with 19 and 15. Is that a case of, did you do all you wanted against him, or was there?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what did us in was the 3-point shooting. We kind of knew when you play Kofi, you're not going to shut Kofi out, unless you have Edie or, one of those other guys that, can go at him and get him. And we were able to get him in a little bit of foul trouble, which hurt. We just tried to make it tough. We tried to swarm. We tried to be active. We tried to give him different looks, double him at times. And he still gets 19, and he's going to do that. But where we lost this game was letting Plummer get 5 threes, letting Melendez get 14 points. If you were to say to me, Kofi's going to get 19 with 6 turnovers, you kind of take that, but then you got to do the job on the other guys, which we weren't able to do today.
Rob.
I thought Casey Simmons was spectacular. And Melendez for Illinois. These are 2 guys that people don't know very much.
Yeah, right.
Could you talk about the development of how you trust a freshman to play a role like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool to see guys like both those guys are guys that have kind of, I'm sure, I mean, Melendez looks like a great kid, and how he plays with such a great Casey the same way. Sometimes you're playing on these teams that have a lot of older guys. There's a tendency to, man, I want to be out there. And it seems like both those guys have just worked. They've gone to practice, they've worked, they've gotten better. The more they've played now, they're getting a little bit comfortable. They're 2 kind of high energy athletes. They're 2 guys that are fun to watch, because when you watch them out there, you feel their energy on the floor. So I've never been afraid to play freshmen. We're trying to win, so if you're a freshman, if you're a senior, if you're a super senior, or whatever they call 6-year seniors now, whatever you are, we're just trying to find a group out there that can help us. But I've never been one to not give freshmen opportunities, and we have to, because we're a developmental program. For us, we need to recruit guys, get them in our program. We need to get them stronger. We need to get them better. And as they get older, give them a chance. It's kind of what we've done with this group, the last couple of years with Bowie, with Nance, with Barron, with Ryan Young. We threw those guys into the fire, and they got their heads kicked in a little bit. They had a 3-win season as freshmen, and now they're pretty good, because they've played, they've gotten better, they've gotten older, they've gotten experience. And so to see Casey, to see Julian Roper, to see Ty Berry, as a sophomore, some of our young guys getting better, gets me excited for their futures.
Alec.
You mentioned Alfonso Plummer's shot making and that being kind of a difference. Makes, I think, 4 or 5 in the first half, and then he kind of gets silenced a little bit in the second half. Did you guys change the way you defended him from behind the arc, trying to limit his catches, or just what did you try and do in the second half?
Just tried to be up in his space a little bit quick, earlier. I thought, Illinois did a good job in the first half. I thought their penetration was getting him open, and he doesn't need much space. I mean, you guys have been following him. He's got a quick trigger. He really gets up on his shot. He doesn't need a lot of room to get it off. And if Trent is in the lane, if Corbello's in the lane, if Grandison's driving you, if DeMonte's driving you, and now you're in help and recover situations, it makes it harder, to get to those guys, or else you're going to give up layups, especially with Kofi rolling. So I thought in the first half, we just had too many breakdowns, and I thought there were some loose balls. I think at least 2 of his threes came on like offensive rebounds or loose balls we didn't get, that they kicked out and found him. And I thought in the second half, we did a better job. I thought we got a lot of those loose balls and just got into his airspace a little bit. And he missed a couple. I mean, a couple of the ones he made, he probably got a similar look. I mean, he just cooled off a little bit, which a guy like that, you got to hope that's the case a little bit too.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
All right. Thank you, guys.